I'm Cynthia Beach Guthrie, a long-term member of St. Mary's by the Sea in Pacific Grove, California. I'm also serving on the vestry for the first time. It is the custom at each of our monthly meetings for a member to offer the devotional. It was my turn this December 2021. Here's what I said for that day's vestry meeting. As I was thinking about my turn at offering a devotional for this very last month of the year, I was adrift. Let's see, I thought. It's December, a month with Advent that looks toward Christmas, a month that's full of joyful celebrations and festivities, both out in the world and within our church community. But it is also this second year, the second December of observing Christmas during a deadly global pandemic, an ongoing pandemic that has offered up some dark days and affected us all. It is also the time of the year when the days are shorter and shorter and darker. I don't know about you, but I feel those shorter and darker days a lot. So I thought, what would be an appropriate Bible passage to consider during this contradictory season in our lives and our Christian journey? What verse would a non-biblical scholar like me find and choose? What would I say about it? As I was thinking, I was also looking at the objects on the table by my front door. It holds a number of items of a religious nature from my nomadic life, such as some Mexican milagros, a rustic carved cross, a framed house blessing, a Virgen de Guadalupe, as well as a St. Mary's by the Sea painting, a bookmark, a mask, and even one of Kirsten Matsumoto's St. Mary's cookies. And then I saw it. There it was. I saw last year's St. Mary's Christmas card that shows our beautiful little red church in the dark of the night with one light on. And the verse printed on the card says, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it." That's it. 1 John verse 5 says it all. 1 John says it all about Christmas and about the contradictions in life with a capital L, and in each of our lives. I don't need a longer, more complicated Bible passage for this meditation. This is what our faith, my faith, is all about. And a lot of my faith was formed by and in St. Mary's by the Sea. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. I thought back about 20 years ago to another Advent and Christmas season. I had returned to St. Mary's by the Sea after Dick retired, and we came from Peru to live on the Monterey Peninsula. During that Advent season, the Reverend Marcia Lockwood invited a few of us to join her on Saturday mornings in the choir stalls inside the church for meditation and reflection. She asked us to think back on our most memorable Christmas and then asked us to write about it. It was easy to choose my most memorable Christmas, but much harder to make sense of it and to write about it. I still am wrestling with it. That was another season of dark and light. It was the Christmas Dick was an infantry company commander in Vietnam, and I was expecting our first child. I gave birth to our daughter, Laura, and my parents brought me home from the hospital on Christmas Day, 1967. I still have photos of me holding Laura, my sweet baby girl, as I stood next to the Christmas tree in front of Tripler Army Hospital. How could it not be my most memorable Christmas? As one parent was giving birth, 1,000 miles away, the other parent was in a death zone. An innocent baby was brought into the light of life in the world in the midst of the dark and death of war. Unbeknownst to me, Dick had experienced the darkest day of his life just 11 days earlier. And then in the midst of that deep dark came a light. The light came over the radio in his armored personnel carrier, telling him that he had a daughter, Laura. The voice said, "Mother and baby doing splendid." The light of Laura's birth came to the dark of the war in Binh Dinh province in Vietnam. Dick and I were not the first, nor will we be the last to share this experience of light and dark. But The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. We are all called to be part of the light that shines in the darkness. St. Mary's by the Sea is part of that light. When, for example, our Christian social concerns feeds the hungry, and iHelp gives the homeless a safe place to sleep, and Little Roses offers girls in Honduras a chance at a new life, and COPA advocates for our agricultural workers, or when the Altar Guild and our organists and our choir provide a lovely, reverent atmosphere for worship in our beautiful little red church. No matter the source of the darkness, whether it's war, hate, poverty, or a pandemic, it is our calling to bring light. We, as God's people, are called to join Christ and be the light and love in the midst of the dark and hate in our world. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. That was last year's St. Mary's Christmas card. This year's card has the same haunting photo of St. Mary's, but the message for all of us as we come into the new year 2022 is from 2 Luke, verse 10. Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy for all people. Happy New Year 2022.